Hey writers, I am here with another strategy for your writer's notebook, and this is one of my favorites, and it's called making a list. So let me make myself a little smaller here so you can actually see the screen of my notes. So the objectives for this strategy lesson. One is to learn how making lists can help writers, and you're a writer, collect and find ideas when they feel stuck. You are also going to be able to observe as I make my own list and tell stories as I go. And then I'm going to challenge you to get started with making your own lists in your writer's notebook. So I'm going to start with a question, which is, are you a list maker? Because I definitely am. And I'm not just talking about as a writer. I am a list maker in my everyday life. And so here's some of the lists that have surrounded me either currently or in the past week or so. And so you'll see over here a list. I have notebooks upon notebooks that I keep everything in, mostly lists. And so here's a list of something I wanted to get done this summer with work. In the middle, you'll see a sticky note that's on my monitor of make sure it's in my face of things I need to make sure that I do. And then here's another list that my partner and I made in a Google Doc of all the stuff we wanted to get done before the beginning of the semester. So I'm already a list maker, and I'm guessing that you are a list maker too, because it's sort of what people do, which is just to make lists. And so what I want to show you today is that making a list can also help you as a writer. And this might be a new idea, but to me, it's one of the very, very best strategies for collecting ideas in your notebook. Because we know as writers, we're not going to wait on other people to give us ideas or tell us what to write about. Real writers find ideas, and they write about things that matter to them. And lists are a way for you to start collecting those ideas. So you're going to watch as I try, and then I'm going to challenge you to try it. So let me go to my writer's notebook here. Make sure you can see me. There I am. So I'm going to make a list, and I am going to make a list of special places. And I'm going to use bullet points, and you can use bullet points or however you want your list to look. It's totally up to you. So special places, and I have to think, okay, what are some special places in my life? One very special place to me is Rough Ridge, which is a hike off the Parkway. Lots of you might know about it. To me, Rough Ridge is a really special place, and maybe it seems cliche, but it's where my partner and I went on our very first hike like 5 years ago almost. So even though we've been on lots of other hikes, and there are some really, really good ones around here, that place and that hike holds a really special place in my mind, and is a memory that I'll never forget about showing up early and going on that, that hike and getting to the top and sitting there and talking to this person that I had just met. Let's see, another special place would definitely have to be my grandmother's, my grandparents' house. So growing up, all of my holidays that I spent were really at my grandparents' house. So birthdays, Thanksgiving, Easter, we celebrated Christmas. All of those memories are all at my grandparents' house. So it holds lots and lots of stories. I could probably tell 100 different stories about that house. And so it holds a really special place in my mind. Sometimes you get stuck on lists and you have to just pause for a second and kind of think, okay, what else is another special place on my list? I would probably say that Charlottesville, Virginia is a really special place to me because I was a camp counselor there, and it was really the place that helped me realize, one of the places that helped me realize that I wanted to go into education. Before that, I didn't know that I wanted to sort of spend time around children and learn from children and learn with children. And so being a camp counselor there's lots of funny stories that happened as a camp counselor, but that place, Charlottesville, whenever I go through there, that's all I think about is all my memories as a camp counselor. So you just watched me try. And now I want you to start thinking about what lists you'll make. And so I'm going to challenge you to pause the video in a moment and to make your own list in your writer's notebook. And so I made a list of special places But I might make lots of other lists. You don't have to make just one list. You could make lots of lists. So some ideas are a best list, a worst list, a scary, funny stories list, happiest memories list, a special places or special people list. Also get creative. You can make a list of songs that you think represent your life. There's no right or wrong list that you can make. Any list that helps you collect ideas from your own life and to tell stories. Notice that in my list, as I was writing, I told the story that went with it. So I'm going to pause the video and you're going to make your own list. And after you've made at least one list that has 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different things on your list, you're going to come back here and I'll wrap up the strategy lesson. So how did you do? You tried it out. I can't wait to hear what's on your lists. I want you, though, to try one thing for me, and you can pause the video again if you need to. I want you to try pointing at one thing on one of your lists and telling a story, because that's really what these lists are supposed to help us do. Is this not just a list, but it's a list of things that we could write and tell stories about. So tell it to yourself, tell it to a stuffed animal, tell it to a friend, a roommate, a family member. And I look forward to hearing your stories in class when we meet again. And a last reminder, which is that writers use lists to help them collect ideas about stories and moments and experiences and things that matter. Because real writers don't wait for someone to tell them what to write about. Real writers have a notebook full of ideas that they can't wait to write about.